die Shiuri meyuchodim, was Baal al-Giula mit Meyasser gewähren und mit Parsim gewähren. Und das sind die Shiuri, was zu Nomen gegeben, Chitas.
Welcome to Chita Short and Simple for Tuesday, Chof, Beis, Tammuz. Shlishi of Parshas Matos, Masei says how Reuben and Gad owned lots of cattle and wanted to stay on the eastern bank of the Yarden. They asked Moshe, and he was very angry. They responded that they will leave their cattle and families behind in fortified cities, and all the men will proceed into Eretz Yisrael and lead them in conquering the land. Only once the lands are fully conquered would they return to the other side of the Yarden to their families.
Today's share in Tehillim is Kapazach Chof Vav through Chof Zion.
In today's Tanya, we finish off Parak Zion, and the Alter Rebbe explains to us that even if someone doesn't do such a harsh avera that's punishable by Karas Mitzvahs based in, if a person does many smaller averas, it can add up to the same problem as a big avera would. It's like having a thick cloud that obscures and blocks the sunlight versus having many thinner clouds that altogether would add up to the same blocking of the light as the thick cloud would. So many smaller, seemingly insignificant averas can add up to as bad as a big avera. And for sure, the small averas that the Chacham specifically warned us against, because they're literally like averas are shvachastam and mugilei arayos. For example, ignoring the needy, saying bad things about one's friend, anger, arrogance. And because of this, because even if we don't deserve a punishment for a big avera, a lot of small averas add up to this. By Kriya Shema, we say and accept the full mitzvahs based in on us. And besides that, according to Said, causing a defect in the yud of Hashem's name Havaya is like skila. Causing a defect in the hey of Hashem's name Havaya is like srifa. The vav is like harag. And causing a defect in the final hey is like being chayav chanak. Neglecting Shema impairs the yud, Tefillin impairs the hey, tzitzis the vav, and davening the last hey. And based on that, we can understand what all averas impair.
Today's Hayom Yom quotes from the Rav Rashab that a Hasidic teaching clears one's mind and cleanses one's heart. Acting like a Hasid lights up one's home, and a Hasidic niggin strengthens one's hope and trust, brings joy, and positions the home and the entire household into a ray of light. In today's Sefer Mitzvahs, we have 6 mitzvahs. The first is that a kohen who is tamei is forbidden from doing the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. The next is that a kohen who is teful yaim cannot do the Avodah in the Beis HaMikdash. The next is that kohanim are commanded to wash their hands and feet before doing the Avodah. The next is that a kohen who has a blemish cannot enter the Heichal. The next is that a kohen who has a blemish cannot do the Avodah. And the last is that a kohen who has a temporary blemish cannot do the Avodah while he still has it. Thank you for listening to today's Chitas Short and Simple.